Hi everyone, welcome back to Have a Beer with Eric. This is review number 37, and for this review, we're bringing a monthly release from Modern Times. So, as all you San Diegans know, Modern Times started doing monthly releases last year, and it's just like bottles and cans that get distributed all over Southern California, and so this time they released a brown ale that's carbonated with nitrogen, and it's brewed with coconut and coffee, and it's 6.2%, and this was canned on October 17th, so about 2 weeks ago, and pretty excited to try this. I don't really drink brown ales too often, and I don't think a lot of people do. So that's the main reason why I wanted to bring this beer into the review. That just to highlight how brown ales can be pretty good, and hopefully I'll like this one. Um, there's been only a few types of only a few brown ales that have actually impressed me, and that's kind of why I don't really drink them that much. And I usually opt for a porter or a stout, but I trust Modern Times, and they're always great at brewing beer with coffee. And I've had some of their coconut beers, and those are also pretty excellent. So, time to try this one out. So, this is a nitro can, so we can shake it out a little bit, and then we'll open it up. And since it's nitro, we can just pour straight down. And I'm hoping it's not going to spill. It's supposed to be exactly a pint. Oh, nope. That was a little too much. A little excessive, but just going to cover that. So clearly, that was, I probably shouldn't have shaken the can before I poured, but well, it was an interesting experiment. Luckily, there's plastic under this, so the table's fine. And as you can see, it has a lot of carbonation going on. It's doing its cascading effect because it's a nitro beer. And also, it's the first nitro beer that I do on my reviews. Totally forgot about that. It's always fun to drink a nitro beer. So as you can see, it's starting to settle. And I've actually got a pretty good carbonation going on. Pretty good. It's a little over 2 fingers. And usually if I wouldn't have shaken it, it probably would have been maybe like around here, like around a finger and a half. But that just costed a lot of extra head, so that's probably why I ended up spilling it, and that was a little embarrassing, but it's also exciting and fun. It makes it fun, so good thing I have coasters for this, because now it gets to soak it all up, and I probably won't be able to use these coasters anymore, but whatever. But so it looks like the cascading effect has pretty much ended, and as you can see, it has like a nice fine line for the carbonation, and the head looks pretty smooth. That's a nitrogen again, and nitrogen beers don't exactly have 100% nitrogen gas. It's more like I believe it's like 30% nitrogen and 70% CO2. So, but and then for the color of the spears, you can see it actually kind of looks like an amber ale. It's like a little like reddish brown, or like maroon, and just a little bit see-through, like against the light. Yeah, actually that's pretty see-through, not that dark. I've had some pretty dark brown ales, like when they use a lot of roasted malts. So let's try to get some nose. We got a lot of coffee going on there, and definitely some coconut as well. And it kind of smells like a little bit of chocolate and some maybe like a little bit of vanilla as well. So it's got a lot of flavors going on there, and well, it's time to try it out. Cheers, guys. Wow, that head is like massively thick, super rich and creamy. Um, it's just you get a it feels kind of like a cloud going into your mouth, and then you start getting the beer towards the end. So you start getting it's very coffee forward. A lot of coffee, roasted malts, a little bit of nuts, kind of like just a hint of like hazelnuts, and maybe like some walnuts. And then towards the end, you get a little bit of the coconut in there. Yeah, it's definitely a very coffee forward beer. And so, as you all know, Modern Times also makes their own coffee. They roast, or they don't make it, they roast their own coffee. So, they it's pretty cool how they can just take it from their coffee roasting over a few steps away over to the fermenters in the brew house and just like put it in there and just experiment with their own coffee. And yeah, this is definitely a pretty nice brown ale. I would have loved to see maybe like what it would taste like without the coffee, because it's the coffee's mainly like the the highlight of the beer, and you can't really taste what it would be without the coffee. But it's nice that they added some coconut in there as well to change it up a little bit. Um, and that mainly lingers on for the aftertaste. Yeah, it's I'm starting to get more coconut now, and that's good because you definitely don't want the coffee to kill the rest of the adjuncts. In this case, the coconut. So, but I haven't had a nitro beer in a while. Now that I think about it, and I really like nitro beers. A lot of people don't like nitro beers because they feel like the that you're sacrificing mouthfeel for flavor, because they just think that usually the CO2 gives it like a nice bite to the beer, a refreshing feel rather than like this like pillowy thick barrier. And I like both. I love it when breweries have the option of CO2 and nitro. That way you can compare side by side, see which one you like better. Um, I love when stouts are on nitro. Like I think one of my favorites that I've ever had was from McKellar. It was their Barrel Aged George, and it was poured on nitro, and it was one of the best beers that I still remember. That's probably one of the beers that started to get me into barrel aged beers. So every time I would go to McKellar, I would always get a taste of that along with whatever else I wanted to try. And I've always been a fan of the creaminess, the richness that that nitro gives to the beers, and and then for this one, since it's a brown ale, it's actually not too so disregarding the head and the creaminess that the nitro gives it. It's actually a pretty thin beer. Brown ales are usually more thin than porters and stouts, and I think that's why a lot of people don't really like them that much, because when they want like roastiness and like chocolatey coffee, they want something more thick, and but brown ales are easier drinking, and it's just more sessionable and more light on you. So so you for this beer you have a pretty nice contrast between the rich pillowy beginning, and then it starts to smooth out to make like a nice clean easy beer to drink, and it's pretty nice. Yeah, very coffee forward, and a nice addition of coconut in there, and and for my beer news for this week, I actually, for Modern Times, I got the pre-sale for the league membership, and I bought my ticket, or I bought my membership, so I'm pretty excited for that. It starts at the beginning of January. It's a whole year, and I get a lot of bottles and pre-sale access and some member-only events. So it's supposed to be one of the best memberships in San Diego for breweries. So I'm very excited about that. And next week is San Diego Beer Week, so we'll see what events I'm gonna try to attend, and I'm definitely gonna bring out another local beer for my review for next week. So stay tuned to find out. And to finish this, I think my rating for this beer, I would give it maybe like a 4. Again, I'm not too huge on brown ales, but I think this is a pretty solid one. It definitely gets the job done. So it's definitely something that you should try if you're curious about brown ales, and if you like adjunct beers. It's definitely very coffee forward and a good amount of coconut in there. So, and I think that's it for this week. So I'll see you guys later. Cheers.